For the last few months, Sri Lanka has been gripped by intense protests. However, most of them have been centered in the country's south. The north has been relatively calm, and there is a reason for that. Northern Sri Lanka is home to the Tamil minority. They say protesting is not an option for them. If they do, the army will crack down with full force. Our next story tells you how the Rajapaksa regime has widened Sri Lanka's north-south divide.
This is Gold Face, one of the most beautiful pieces of real estate in Colombo. Also the site of massive protests. For months now, Gold Face has looked like this. Packed with hundreds of protesters, slogans echoing in the air. And occasionally, violent scuffles. In these streets, you can feel the outrage, the deep disappointment and anger towards the ruling Rajapaksa clan. That outrage is open and vocal. People are not scared to criticize the president anymore. Politicians, students, doctors, even cricketers are taking on President Gotabaya. But in northern Sri Lanka, the scene is very different. The streets are a lot more calm. The people are a lot more patient. Not because they don't share the outrage, but because protesting is not an option for them. Northern Sri Lanka is home to the Tamil minority. They number close to 3 million, making up 15% of Sri Lanka's total population. Their story is one of neglect and oppression. Even after the civil war that continues, you will find long ration lines in the north. You will hear stories of shortages and desperation. But you will not find the protests, not like the one in Gold Face. Because even protesting is a luxury here. The Gold Face movement is made up of the Sinhala majority. It is primarily a Buddhist movement, so the security forces respond with patience and restraint. Not the case when Tamil protest. Protests in the north are often met with brutal crackdowns, a staple of rubber bullets, tear gas and baton charging. Sometimes the judiciary intervenes. They ban a protest even before it starts. This north-south divide is not new. The Rajapaksas used it to boost their political career. Mahinda Rajapaksa was president during the worst civil war crimes. His trusted military chief, the current president Gotabaya, both men led the bloody campaign against the Tamils. The war may have ended in 2009, but the discrimination did not. Southern Sri Lanka got all the money and investments, the airports, the highways, the hospitals, while northern Sri Lanka was left to fend for itself. And the war crimes? Long forgotten. Hundreds of Tamil men who disappeared during the war are still missing. Are they dead, in prison or in exile? The government will not say. The Rajapaksas used the racial divide to conquer Sri Lanka. And for years, the people played along until it hit their wallet. The new protests are a lot more inclusive. Some groups are making concerted efforts to rope the Tamils in, to make this a wider movement. Yet, the horrors of the past restrain the Tamil community. They too need food and fuel, but more importantly, they want their voices to be heard. They want a new Sri Lanka that fights for their rights. South Asia Bureau, WION World is One.